Greetings, opera lovers. Live from Pittsburgh, it's Rowna. At this time of year, I'm thinking about last year. And in opera, we don't have something like the Academy Awards or the Emmys or the Booker Mann Prize, the Nobel Prizes. We have nothing like this for opera. And so I am starting my own opera prize. It's called the Rowna Prize, and it has 5 categories. And this year, I've chosen the categories the following way. The first category is the Pittsburgh Prize, and this year it goes to Alexandra Lucian. I believe she's a native of Pittsburgh. She has been a resident artist with the Pittsburgh Opera Company, and I heard her in a vocal competition, the Mildred Miller competition. Mildred Miller was a great opera star at the Met, and she lives here in Pittsburgh and is also known as Mildred Posvar. She's one of the treasures of our city. And this opera competition is named in her honor, and it's presented by Pittsburgh Opera Theater, sometimes known as Summerfest. This year there was an outstanding crop of contestants, but one shone out to me above all the rest. But she didn't win any of the judges' prizes. However, she did win the audience prize, and I voted for her very enthusiastically. Miss Lucian has a very beautiful, round, and large voice, and she sang the big aria and scene from the council called To This We've Come. She threw herself into this aria. You were so with her every step of the way. It was a great performance, even though it was just in an opera competition. So to Miss Lucian, you get the Pittsburgh Prize. I am afraid there will be no check accompanying it or a statue, but you have my eternal admiration for your performance in this competition. The next prize goes to the Best Met webcast that you can pick up on your computer. And I have to give it this year to Die Meistersinger, although I heard many wonderful nights of singing. The reason I gave it to Die Meistersinger is, first of all, it's not often done. And it requires so many good singers. There were 2 really big surprises for me. One was that Paul Appleby, singing the role of David, just was enchanting. He completely portrayed the role through his vocalism. He was absolutely delightful. He sang beautifully. And he's a singer who I'd only heard once before and who really didn't have enough to do in the other role I heard him in, I believe was Les Troyens. But the real star of the evening was James Morris. Interestingly enough, I heard only Act 1 the night that the opera premiered, because after Act 1, I had some phone calls and I did not have enough strength to finish the opera. But as luck would have it, I happened to catch the next webcast where I was able to catch Acts 2 and 3 also with Mr. Morris. I also did see the HD production. And Mr. Morris just gets every award that is possible to get for a singer. His vocalism, his characterization, his humanity, his dignity, his honesty, and his attention to detail was just outstanding. It was just a wonderment, and it's such a long role. And so, to the entire cast of Die Meistersinger, which also includes the fabulous chorus and orchestra, mwah, you were great. It was a fabulous 2 parts of an opera for me. In this country, we are very lucky to see live streamed operas from all over the world. This year I saw from Glyndebourne, from Munich, other places too. I can't really remember. The one that stood out the most was the Munich Opera's presentation of Monteverdi's Orfeo. It's not an opera you're going to see done at the Met. You might see it in your local opera house if you have, let's say, a resident artist program where younger singers get a chance to try out their vocal wings. This was a fully staged, beautifully executed opera with a singer whose name I didn't know. It's impossible to know every singer. And Christian Gerhard was Orfeo. He's a fabulous singer, and the entire cast just was magnificent because singing in a Renaissance opera, all these opera singers, they develop these big techniques, and you need to thin them down to sound authentic in a Renaissance opera. And to the Opera House in Munich, I give you the Rowna Award for Orfeo. Then, of course, there's always the best vocal performance by an opera singer. Well, you're not going to be surprised to hear that I give it this year to Jonas Kaufmann for his portrayal in Werther. I actually happened to experience it 3 times. First was opening night. It was broadcast over the internet. Then I went to see it live, and then I caught the Saturday broadcast, the final performance on the radio. And actually that performance, not the one I went to in the house, but that performance seemed to be the best overall vocally. Mr. Kaufmann is a fantastic stage performer. He eats up the scenery, he's magnetic, he's romantic looking. It's a role that suits him just to a T. He's very sympathetic. He captures you. The biggest compliment I can give to him is that my husband did not sleep for 1 second during the entire opera. I kept looking over to see if he was still awake throughout the whole thing. So you know it was a great performance. So Mr. Kaufmann, you get the Rowna Award for Greatest Vocal Performance by an Opera Singer today. I know you were dying for this. And then this year, I'm giving a special award to an opera. And that opera is Bellini's I Puritani. Because, although I'd heard it many times before, I was always bored by it. Maybe because I wasn't paying attention. But this year, when the Met webcast it with Lawrence Brownlee and Olga Perichatko, I just fell in love with it. And then I had to buy it and put it on my iPod and listen to it incessantly. Now I know every note. I can hum along with the entire opera. I'm very bad with words, but the duet between the basso and the baritone is truly one of the greatest highlights of any opera. I used to say I don't like bel canto operas. I can't say that anymore. I Puritani changed my mind, and so for that reason, Mr. Bellini, although you're not around with us anymore, I give you the award for the opera that changed my opinion about an opera. So I hope you enjoyed my little fun. And I'm looking forward to 2015. There are many Met performances I'm really looking forward to see in HD. I don't know that I'll get to see one live, but I can always hope. And later this season, Pittsburgh is going to have Mr. Lawrence Brownlee and Miss Lisette Oropesa in The Daughter of the Regiment. I am totally looking forward to that. So everybody have a wonderful new year. Bye.